everyone, Justina here, and welcome back to my channel where I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you. Today, as you see by the title, I have all new Christmas in July DIYs that you absolutely have to try, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So without further ado, let's art today. The first thing I would like to show you are these bundles of fabric that I found at my local Walmart. They were roughly $5 to $8 per bundle, but I really love the patterns on each of these fabrics. As you see here, this one is a little thicker than this one right here, but they are great size and they were perfect for this project. I will be working with these fabrics over here though. The next thing I will be using is this tree skirt that I found at my Dollar Tree last year around Christmas time. I will be using just the fringe of it at the bottom. So out of all those fabric pieces, this is the one that I chose for my project. It is a really pretty red and it has this really nice pattern on the front of it. I really like these fabric pieces. They're really good size and they worked perfectly for this project. The next thing that I need to use is this book bin that I found at the Dollar Tree actually a couple of years ago. I've been holding on to it and I was looking at it one day and I was like, this would be perfect for this project. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I want to make Santa's sleigh. To start off, I needed to measure out how much fabric I needed to cut to fit all over this book bin. So as you see here, I laid the book bin on top of the fabric and I'm just eyeballing it really and making a couple of dashes so that I can cut out how much fabric I needed. Then I put that fabric on top of the remaining fabric so that I would have two pieces that were roughly the same size. And these are the two pieces that I have. I'm going to put one of those pieces to the side and just work one at a time. I'm relaying down that book bin on top of the fabric, but this is where it got a little tricky for me. I was trying to find the best placement for the fabric to get started. So I put it back on top of the book bin and I'm just using a little bit of hot glue just to hold it in place while I try to find the best placement. After I have the best placement and the hot glue holding it down, I am now taking some Mod Podge and putting it generously all over the book bin on the side. I waited a few minutes so that my glue can get tacky and then I'm laying the fabric on top of the glue. I'm stretching out the fabric as much as possible so that all the air bubbles underneath can come out and the fabric is smooth. Then I took some hot glue and placed it on the side so that it just holds my fabric into place. I did go back and put the second half of the fabric onto the book bin and here's how it looks after it had time to completely dry. Now it's time to add more detail to the top of Santa's sleigh, and like I said earlier, I'm using the bottom trim for this. So as you see here, I'm just cutting it off of the top portion. After I have the fringe completely cut off, I am going to add it to our book bin, or now our Santa's sleigh. The reason I wanted to just cut off the fringe is because it reminds me of Santa's suit or his hat, and I just thought it would be a cute fit for his sleigh. As you see here, I am using hot glue to attach it to the book bin itself, and I did leave a little portion of that red fabric on top so that I can adhere it to the inside of Santa's sleigh. This is how the sleigh looks so far, and I really think that little white fringe brought this whole thing together. It's so cute and I am so thrilled how it turned out. Now it's time to get ready to work on the bottom portion of the sleigh. For the bottom of the sleigh, to pull everything together and make it look like a solid piece, I wanted to paint it with this black chalk paint. Now, my mistake is that I should have painted it at the very end, but don't worry, it still comes together. To make the sleigh part of the sleigh, I found these incense holders at Dollar Tree and I purchased two of them. Then also I have some leftover tumbling tower blocks from the Jenga game from Dollar Tree as well. Then I will be giving everything a coat of that black chalk paint from Folk Art Home Decor. You see here, I left some of the red showing on the bottom of the sleigh pieces. Nobody's really going to see that, but I thought it just added some interest. Now it's time to attach everything together so we can complete this sleigh. Now at first I started to use that Gorilla Wood glue, but the one that I was using was really old and it started to be clumpy. So this started a little bit of a problem for me. I do add some hot glue to attach it to hold it in place while the Gorilla Glue dried, but I had to go back and add some super glue to everything. Then the last thing to do for the sleigh to be completed is to add the base to the top of the sleigh. And to do that, I'm using some hot glue. Now I do add on piles of glue afterwards so that everything is attached nicely. And then I gave everybody a quick coat of that black chalk paint. And here's how it turned out. Just look at Santa's sleigh. I am so thrilled how this project turned out. It is so cute and everybody in my household just absolutely loves it. As you see here, all I did was put some Christmas greenery on the top just to add a little bit decor, but you can always add some Christmas balls or Christmas presents to put inside since it is Santa's sleigh. I would love to know what you think down in the comment section below. Jumping into DIY number 2, Santa's sleigh wasn't really completed, so I wanted to give him a helping hand. So I found these reindeers at my local 99-cent store earlier this year. They were on clearance for 10 cents each, and I picked up 8 of them. I wasn't really liking the glitter or the colors on my reindeer, so I took them outside and I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum paint and primer in this gray color that I purchased at Michael's on sale for $5. I made sure to give everybody a thorough coat. This saves me time on sanding down that glitter and hand painting them one by one. After the primer was dry, I then took it back outside and gave it 2 coats of this 2X Ultra Matted White Spray Paint. This is what the reindeer looked like after the paint had time to completely dry, and now it's time for decorating. To save some time, I will show you how I decorate this one reindeer instead of all 8 of them, but they are pretty much all the same with a slight differences in the little details. So the first thing I do was take some green jute twine and wrap it around the reindeer's neck just to act like a scarf, and it's really to help place the other objects on top of it. After I wrapped it around its neck, I'm sorry, it sounds so funny, then I took a lighter and burnt off the excess hairs. Then I'm taking some greenery, adding that down with this bow and hot gluing it into place. This is how the reindeer turned out. I just think they're so adorable. As you see here, it works perfectly with the sleigh and it just brings everything together. And if you look a little bit closer, each of the reindeers have their own neck dressings. I just think it's so festive. I would love to know what you think down below. Moving on to our next DIY, I have this leftover Easter egg that is shaped like a bunny that I purchased from Dollar Tree around the Easter time, I believe last year. And I want to use it for this project because it has a perfect shape. So I will be making a snowman out of this bunny, but in hindsight, I should have just made a Santa Claus to tie the other DIYs to this one. But anyways, I went with a snowman, and to do so, I have to chop off the little bunny's ears. And to do that, I will use this wood burning tool. There is a little plastic piece that is inside of that Easter egg that I'm using as a guide to help cut off the bunny's ears. Now, if you don't have a wood burning tool, I'm pretty sure a nice sharp pair of scissors or even an X-Acto knife will have the same result. This is how the bunny looks after the ears are removed, and it does close up nicely. There is a little space at the top of the head, but I do end up covering that so you won't be able to see it. And I can use the ears for a later project also. Now next, to make this bunny into a snowman, I will be covering it up using that automotive cloth that I purchased from Dollar Tree. To attach the cloth, I'm using my hot glue gun to adhere everything down, and I'm pulling the cloth as tightly as possible so that the bunny's shape can show through the cloth. I continue this process with the second half of the bunny as well, and then I attach them together. This is what the snowman looks like after everything was attached together. Now it's time to decorate the snowman, and first I want to give my snowman a hat. I found these 4 mini hats at Dollar Tree in their 4th of July section, and I'm just removing one of them. I wanted to paint my hat, and to do so I'm just using my chalk paint in the color black. As you see here, that little piece of paper I forgot to remove, so I'm removing it, and I give this hat 2 thorough coats. After the hat had time to completely dry, it is now time to decorate it, and to do so I'm using that old fabric that we used in our first DIY from the sleigh, and I'm going to use it as a band for the hat. So I'm just using hot glue to glue it into place, and it is on the low setting because on the high setting it started to melt the plastic. Next, I'm going in with this thin red ribbon and adding it to the bottom of the hat as well, just to give it more detail. And lastly, for this hat, I'm just going to add some greenery, some berries, and a pine cone just to give it more of a Christmas feel. I wanted to give my snowman some eyes, and to do so I found these 2 large buttons in my craft supplies, and I'm painting them black. Now I would like to make a scarf for my snowman, and to do so I'm using that same fabric that I used for Santa's sleigh. I cut out 2 strips about the same size, and I'm going to fold them over onto themselves and hot glue them into place. Then I'm taking both of the ribbons that I made and attaching them to one another so that they're long enough to fit around the snowman's neck. Now it's time to attach everything to the snowman, but I'm first starting off with a scarf that I just made. I add a good dollop of hot glue to the back of the snowman's head so that I can attach the scarf so it holds it into place. Then I try to make the scarf look like it's crisscrossing so it looks like it's tied around his neck, and once again using hot glue to attach it, and then I cut off the remainder of the scarf so it's not so long. To give more detail to my snowman, I'm attaching another pine cone to the scarf and some greenery just to give it a festive look. Next, I am attaching his hat using hot glue and placing it on top of his head. It is now time to decorate his face, so I first attach his button eyes, and when I was making this I noticed that he was looking a little flat, so I did add a layer of green buttons on top of the black buttons, but I did add another layer of white buttons on top of the green buttons later. Then it is now time to attach his nose, and to make his nose all I did was take some orange yarn and wrap it around a pine cone, and that completes this DIY. And everyone, this is how my little snowman turned out, and I just think he is so adorable. Like I mentioned earlier, I should have made a Santa Claus, but I really love how he turned out. I would love to know what you think down in the comment section below. Once again, here is a overview of everything that I have created today. I really love each and every one of them that I've created. It does bring a smile to my face and gets me excited for the holiday season to come, and it's just a great addition to my Christmas decor. I would love to know which one was your favorite down in the comments section below. If you are new here and haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that today. All you have to do is click that big red subscribe button and then click on the bell so that YouTube can always notify you when I upload a new video. And I would love for you to be part of my virtual art family. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.